Welcome to the 14-day virtual assistant bootcamp. I'm so excited. We are starting our day one training today. It's almost the second month of 2020. Can you believe? It's the 1st of February 2020. I can't believe because the 31 days have been completely focused on building this amazing program just for you guys, okay? And I'm so happy. I'm so proud of you. You've taken the first ever step in signing up for this program in this fresh new decade of 2020. So I have this real positive vibes about 2020. So even when you said 2019, it didn't sound good. 2020 sounds cool. Yeah, I enjoy saying 2020 every time. So 2020, I have this vibes. It's going to be really huge. It's going to be my dream year. It's going to get me everything that I want. And I'm transferring all my positive vibes to you, whoever is watching, whoever is listening, that you get that positive vibes from me as well. So going into the program, it is not going to be very intense. If someone is looking for something, get rich quick. Okay, I'm going to do this course and I'm going to be a millionaire. I'm going to make 6 figures. No. And anyone who promises that, trust me, it's not going to work. Okay. So I'm going to be telling you realistic, practical, step-by-step efforts, what it takes to get you there. So we're going to go one step at a time. Okay. The reason I can say my biggest failure is losing weight. Yeah. So that's because I do everything at a time. So I end up crash dieting. I end up doing 20 hours of intermittent fasting. I end up doing so much of exercise, and then I completely get exhausted and I can't be consistent. That's the lesson I learned. Okay. So when you do too much at a time and you aim without any realistic goals, that's when you tend to fail. So that's the biggest lesson learned in my personal life, and I'm not going to implement it in my entrepreneurial journey or in these online business course. All right. So I'm not going to shove you with so much of stuff that you get suffocated, you get threatened. We're going to go very slow, work on every small aspect of yourself, your mindset, the strategies that you use, and the tools and resources that you have access to. So it's spaced into 3 modules. Module 1 would be identifying and realizing, working with yourself, where you realize about your own self, what is your worth, what are your values, and what are your focus, and what is your legacy, what is the legacy that you want to live. And you might answer simple questions that will make you sit and think, oh yeah, I've never thought about it in such a perspective. Trust me, it'll get you thinking. And module 2 would be identifying the skills and resources that you have at the moment, or the ones that you can build based on your passion that you really like, that you want to build a career on. Because 90% of the population in the whole world is whinging and crying and getting to work every day. There is a very, very brutal statistics that says 90% of the population doesn't want to get to work, but they go because they need money. So money is the ultimate final outcome. But what do we do to get that money? And defining the why is more important. So that's why day 1 is the module that I've scheduled to identify you. So it's the day 1 is all about you identifying your you. And let's get started with the presentation. I'm really excited. Be interactive in the group. Post your comments. Post every day's task. If you're very shy, if you don't want to go public, you can DM me and tell me any questions you've got. Please post in the group and make it more interactive so everybody gets to interact. And if you're really shy, if you don't want to do it in stage 1, you can probably DM me and get rid of your fear. By the end of day 14, be identifying your voice and publishing more on different platforms. And I'm sure you'll get there. So let's get started with the presentation for day 1. All right, everyone, let's get started. So like I said before, all right, let's get started with module 1 and day 1. So this is going to be a general overview. So the topics that we're going to cover is how did I come up with this particular community called MetaCare Tribe? Why did I start that? And know your why. So why you should be doing this particular program and how it's going to benefit you, and why is it a good time to start right now. And what is it with the mindset and motivation? I keep telling you mindset. So what is that we're going to see? So quickly, let's jump into my timeline of how MetaCare Tribe was born within me. So until 2010, nothing much changed. I was a very academic oriented person. So I did my bachelor's in microbiology, master's in bioinformatics. I got a job as a lecturer with a very prestigious institution in Chennai, India, where I came from. And I did an master's MTech in biotechnology because I wanted an engineering PhD, and then basically I did my doctorate in biotechnology. So all I did in my life was study, study, studies. Very happy with the life I was leading, and I was working very I can say very satisfying in terms of my passion. I loved teaching. I loved interacting with fresh young minds, influencing them, motivating them. It has always been there as part of me, and that particular job really fed my passion, and it was very well paid. So I was very happy until 2010. I mean, I am in a happy relationship, but just that life took a whole lot of turn after 2010. After marriage, immediately after marriage, I got pregnant, and my first son was born. And exactly on the sixth day when my son was born, my husband met with an industrial accident and disabled him quite a bit, maybe 6 months. So I had to get back to work immediately because my son stopped taking my breast milk. So basically, I was not feeding him, he was on bottle feed. So I didn't want to waste my time because both of us were not earning. It was a tough phase, emotionally challenging, and also economically challenging. So I had to get back on work. Life was going okay, so it was a roller coaster ride until 2015 when I was pregnant with my second son, and that's when there was severe recession in the academic sector, and all the universities and colleges were trying to lay off people and looking at all possible ways, and the easiest option was pregnancy. So when you're going on a maternity break, when you come back, your job is not really assured. So that's when this uncertainty creeped in, and I got really freaked out. What if I land without a job? And the job scenario was really bad. And that's when we heard this option about migrating to Australia, which was very straightforward. I went to consultancies, checked with people, and I got this feel that they really don't know what they're talking about, and they were just looking at some documents on the computer and telling me. They didn't know to answer my critical questions. So this is a one takeaway message. If you want to be benefited from the person whom you're talking to, you need to know to ask the right questions. That will definitely help you in wherever you go, whatever you want to achieve. So once I migrated, life took a big leap. There was so much of change in the culture, so much of change in the workplace, in the first work I was doing. So I have documented my entire journey in Australia, my jobs and my mindset in my podcast. So you can have a listen if you're really interested. So it was really interesting this 4 years, 2016, so late 2016, so I would say roughly 3 years, a bit of 3.5. So was very challenging in terms of me adapting to the new culture, but gave me an opportunity to network with so many people, and there's so much of opportunities here because your mindset is totally different when you come here. When you're in India, there's so much of culture and society restrictions, and you're imbibed in so many other things. You don't have time to sit and think about yourself or do some bit of self-development. So here I had an opportunity. So I should say reading self-help books, self-development books has helped me leaps and bounds. So it has really helped me so much. I can't talk enough about it. So reading books, listening to podcasts, listening to inspirational YouTube stories and motivational speeches and TED Talks, and all this helped me. And then I started my entrepreneurial journey maybe mid of 2017. So the first thing I did was taking tuitions. So I was tutoring maybe from early or late primary education, so maybe year 4 5ish to year 12, and then I was doing even GAMSAT training in Australia, which is the exam or the competitive exam you do for entering into doctor MBBS courses. Okay, so if you want to become a doctor, you need to pass that particular exam called GAMSAT, which is open to any age people based on any degree. So I was tutoring people maybe even 40 plus years. So that was my first ever thing which I made an extra income apart from my full-time job that I was doing. And after that, I had an event in Darwin where I was there. So it was called the Darwin Innovation Hub startup pitch event. So I pitched my idea basically because all I knew was teaching and education and schools and colleges. So I pitched an idea about an online education platform, so which was selected among the top three. But of course, there's always limitation of funds. It was just a 3-day event, so it is just for you from an idea to how much you can bring out in 3 days. So it was full on, it was intense. I really enjoyed it, but I couldn't succeed in getting that out as a product or as a business as such. But that gave me an instinct to start my entrepreneurial journey, and that's when the people started asking me from India, can you help me with visa, can you help me do this paperwork? And when I started helping them, they started taking advantage, and there were too many queries, too many help. People expect me to do it rather than a consultation I was doing for them. So I wanted to keep a check on that. So I said, okay, well, see, I started this particular commercial agency that helps people to migrate, and I sent them the information which really filtered most of the unnecessary calls and messages and time eating stuff. All right, another key message here: you should know where to say no and how to say no, and to stop it in a very diplomatic way, so you don't ruin relationships, but you tell them in a very nice way that hey, look, I've really had a lot of interest from people asking me to do it in a commercial basis, so I've just started it. So if you're interested, I'm happy to send you some information, have a look at it and get back to me. So make sure you don't ruin relationships, but make sure you're not burning yourself out with all so that is the main purpose how MetaCare Tribe was formed. But I always had this instinct that I happen to do a lot of stuff, because I used to say I am ADHD undiagnosed. Okay, I can switch between 10 things at a time. I can do so much. I don't know how I do it, but I go crazy, and that's how I can survive. If I'm peaceful, if I'm happy with what I have and I'm just saying what to do, I go crazy. So I have to juggle between stuffs. I have to be crazy busy, and I have to be full on all the time, and it's just me. I think that has helped me a lot in achieving things in a very short span of time. And I wanted to address 3 main aspects of MetaCare Tribe. So that's how I tell you, it's basically a community to shoulder each other, because we support each other. I'm not going to tell you I'm going to lift everyone up. So there are days where I feel bad and I would need someone to lift me up. So it is a community to shoulder each other. Okay, and I definitely stress upon mindset and right resources and relationship, because you have everything. You're talented, you're on top of the world, you have everything in life, but if you have a bad relationship at home, if you're not in a happy relationship with your husband or your boyfriend or your parents or your children, it is not going to let you proceed. It's not going to let you progress. So relationship management is another important key criteria you have to address for you to succeed. So everything starts from home. That's strong. I'm sitting here doing it while my husband and kids are there. It's because we strike a balance. We have an understanding. So they give me my space when I want to work, and I give them my time when they need me. So it's kind of a win-win situation for both of us, and that kind of understanding should be there between partners to have a successful business relationship. So this is a timeline. So you can see I didn't fall from heaven lucky. I was not born rich, and I didn't have the support and all the money in the world. Who people didn't give me money to invest and start a business. So it was very slow and steady. So I haven't quit my full-time job yet. So I am doing the Monday to Friday full-time job, but I'm in a job which is matching my educational qualification, and I have always wanted to be an academic. So I'm right now with an Australian university doing the job that I love. That's the reason I'm still working, but I wouldn't be working after maybe 2020 or 2021. My target is 2021 for sure, but if I'm able to retire by 2020, that'll be my dream life. Okay, so let's look at what is dream life and how will it define. So we will look at each and everything every day, one thing at a time. So we're going to take one topic in one day and we're going to do it. So today we're going to be covering mindset, and we'll do a worksheet on mindset as well. Okay, so phase one of the module one is understanding you. So why do I focus so much about you? Why do I put in so much of stress about understanding the real you? So what happens is people, when I talk to people, they'll be like, oh, you know what, I can't do this, you know what, I'm this. So we keep focusing on the negatives and things that we can't do, where we could actually focus on things that we can do. Okay, so we are going to be doing a worksheet today that will help you understand the real you. You will understand how much of potential you have and what perspective you want to see yourself. I'm sure when you finish the worksheet, you will have a completely different perspective of yourself. If you're doing the exercise with 100% honesty, you have to be just truthful and put in your 100% for the 10 minutes. Just sit in a place where there's no disturbance and start doing the task. All right, so defining your roles and responsibilities. So when I say roles and responsibilities, there are certain things that you know you can do, and there are certain things that you know you can't do. So I'm such a person, if you ask me to do the household chores and cooking, like 3 times a day, cook 3 meals a day and be in the kitchen and do the household task, if that's my only thing, I can't do. I know that. Okay, so if that is the kind of life I want to live, or should I will my passion drive towards that kind of a lifestyle? No. Okay, so that is the main reason. So I would appreciate if you have a pen and paper and note down stuff, because I love making notes and that'll really help you. You can pause whenever you want and write down what you want. So when you want to define your roles and responsibilities, there are some things that you know you can do and you can't do. For example, if you know people who migrate to Australia, the best thing or the first thing they'll tell you is, if you want a job quickly, just enroll in a Cert 3 or Certificate 3 in childcare. So every woman who migrates, or 80-90% of the women I know who migrate, just enrolls in a course. The childcare will give you a childcare worker job, which is not a bad pay, $22 to $24 an hour, which is pretty good. But I know I am not patient in handling children. I cannot handle my own kids. Okay, so in that way, I can't handle 20 crying kids. I don't have the patience. I don't have the resilience towards children, I can say. So I know I can't do the job. People told me, just do an aged care job. You will be employed immediately. I'm like, no, there are some things you will not do, even if you're offered huge sum of money. Maybe it's just me. Some people might do it. They might do it for some time and then they'll regret, they'll not do it. But I'm someone right from beginning, I know these are the things that I can do, and these are things I really can't do. And these are some things that I can compromise, adjust, and be flexible. But actually, to be honest, in personal life, I'm very flexible with relationships. I'm very flexible with people. I'm really, I have burnt myself good enough being too flexible. I've literally bent so much that I've broken myself. All right, but in terms of career, in terms of my passion, I'm very rigid. I know the things that I really like to do. There are some things that I really don't want to do. Okay, and why do you want to do this? So the why is important. Why are we stressing on why? So if I ask anyone, why do you want to do this course? Why do you want to start a business? And I'm sure 100 out of 100 people will tell me, I need money. I have told the same response. And when I see people like really successful people like Tony Robbins and Grant Cardone and so many big billionaires say, money is not everything. You don't follow money. And I'm like, yeah, mate, you have all the money in the world and you say this. I have said the same thing. But trust me, though I have not reached to millions and billions, I have reached to a financial freedom, or the mental state of abundance and consistency, where I'm happy with the life I lead, but I know I've got a vision, I've got a dream life that I'm really approaching towards, every day, baby steps, slow progress, and I'm progressing towards my dream life. However, my outcome of all my efforts would be money. But why do I want to do this? Why this all started is because of my children. Okay, their inclination towards a good lifestyle. So everybody, even the poorest man or woman, would want to do the best for their children. It's there in every human being. But for me or for everyone, that's the push. But you have to be very specific. This is where the why matters. So if you just say, I want to earn a lot of money so my kids can be luxurious, the kids can be happy, I can provide anything for my family, that is a general stuff. So the universe is abundant, but you need to be providing specifics. You can make a note of this. When you ask to the universe, you have to make specific wish, or you have to make sure you write down to the universe that I wish to own or whatever car you want to own, and I wish to have this amount of money in my bank by this particular date, even a time you can write, or this particular month. I want to live in a beach facing mansion located at this particular suburb. So you need to visualize. So we will be doing lots and lots of training about affirmations, but you have to understand your why. The reason I stress on that is because you just can't say, I want to make money. No, if you run behind money, trust me, you will not get there. When people told this, I never believed. So believe me, I've been there just few years ago, and I'm telling you, if you just chase money, you will not get there. But all you have to concentrate is work on your passion and provide value and solve people's problems. What is the question that you want to address? So solve that problem and you will get there. So now this might be little intense, too much for you to understand. But as we go through week 1, when we go to week 2, when you come back to this lesson, you will understand it more clearly. So the understanding the real you starts with doing the exercise that we have today and sitting and thinking, what are the things that I can do? Even if I'm offered $1 million, can I go clean a gutter? I can't do that. Some people say, yes, I can do it. Okay, fine. That's not bad. Okay, you have a higher tolerance level and higher adaptation for survival. It's all about, so nobody is here to judge who's right, who's wrong, you're good, you're bad, you're greedy. There's no harm in asking or wanting money because the universe is so abundant. Whatever you want, the universe will give. When people said it, I didn't believe, guys. Whatever I'm telling you today, when I listened to it, I laughed at it. I didn't believe, and I was like, oh my God, another fake affirmation story or another dream life. But when I started practicing gratitude, when I started practicing affirmations, when I started listening to affirmations, and it did wonders in my life. Trust me. So moving on quickly. So know your why. We've got all these questions which will help you to understand. You can write down answers for all these questions. So what do you want to be? So what do you want to be has to be very specific. You can't just say, I want to be rich. You can say, I want to be, so we will do a specific exercise where you will define what you want to do, what problem you want to solve. For now, if you just want to say, what do you want to be? So I want to be an entrepreneur who will influence lives of millions of people with $1 billion in my account, or whatever you want to be. So just write down what do you want to be, what are your core values. So when I mean core values, these are the things that you really cannot resist, or resist is not the word. These are the things you cannot violate. Okay, so like I said, I was a normal girl who used to lie around, just say lies to my mom when I was a teenager. And as a consequence, when you see it gets nasty, you keep telling 100 lies to cover up one lie. And then there was a day that came, I was like, I'm gonna stop telling lies. I'm just gonna say and face the truth rather than lying and facing the consequence of a very 100 dirty lies that are covered up. So honesty has been really my principle for the past a few years, I can say, and I've stuck to it. I will stick on to it. There's no way I'm going to go back. So honesty is something that I really value, and being humble definitely helps, and hustle. So those three H I really love. So hustle is working hard, working for yourself, working for the passion. So you hustle irrespective of Sunday, Monday, every day is Monday for me. So those are my core values. So you have to think, what are your core values? So this we'll be doing in the exercise. So we'll get there in a minute. So what are your strengths? So think about what people really appreciate you for. So people appreciate that I'm very bold and I'm very friendly, and I smile at people, so like that you can have a strength where you can say, I'm really nice to everyone, I'm very adaptable, I'm very flexible, I'm very hardworking. So anything that you feel it's your strength, it can be a very simple thing or it can be something really big. And what are your weakness? Okay, so you can definitely, there's a typo there, apologies. So what are your weakness? So you can basically say, for me, I'm basically very sensitive and very emotional, and I feel this is there with every woman especially. So when women get influenced with emotions, they can't progress. I've been so successful in the past year and a half because I started practicing detached attachment. So the emotions, I was obsessed with my husband, I was addicted to my husband for the past 11 years, which is not wrong, but I couldn't push myself beyond a certain point because of that emotional attachment. I used to be always clinging on to him. I used to be always obsessed with him, only thinking about him, talking to him, texting him. Though we live in the same place, in the same house, I used to text him from the kitchen, I miss you. And I used to be so much in that honeymoon phase for 11 years. Okay, good enough. But it didn't let me progress in my professional life. When I sat back and thought, what is stopping me? It's just that emotional attachment and obsession, which was being negatively influenced, and it was pulling me back. So once I practiced that detached attachment, meaning you're still attached, you still have that bond, but it's not gonna really affect you in a way to slow down your career. So that is a very positive outlook of my weakness that I've overcome with a lot of challenge, I should say. So like that, list down your weakness. And what is your main focus? So my main focus is say family and work balance, because I have struggled in the past 6 years for this. Okay, I have done anything and everything you can imagine, you cannot imagine, to keep my children with me, to keep my children away with my parents, and struggle just for money. And I can't count the number of days and nights I've cried day in and out due to separation from my children, just to earn money. So I have been through it, and so my main focus is financial freedom by balancing work and family. So that's my main focus. Please write down what is your main focus. So the reason I say so much about me is to help you think from your perspective. So if I just say, write what you want to be, you might be stuck with what to write. So that's the reason this session is not to blow my own trumpet that I'm great. I'm just helping you with examples from my own life so you can relate it to your life. And where do you want to be? Again, where do I want to be? So where do you want to be by the end of 2020? So in 2020, for example, I want to quit my full-time job. Honestly speaking, this is my goal. This is my affirmation. So I want to quit my full-time job, be a full-time entrepreneur by the end of 2020. So what are your goals? So if you're in a job, say you're getting $50,000, if you want to earn $80,000 or $100,000, that could be your goal. Or make $50,000 but make another $50,000 in the side hustle or side business. That is also could be your goal. So write down whatever you want to do by the end of 2020, because I don't believe in saying, okay, what do you want to be? Where do you want to be in 5 years time, in 10 years time? I don't know what is going to happen tomorrow. So 5 years and 10 years is still a very long time for us to plan. So 1 year is the ultimate target, and we're going to break it down into smaller chunks of month targets, 3 months targets, and 6 months target. And very, very important to know your why is what legacy would you like to leave for the next generation? So when you think about it, what legacy, I mean legacy because if you die, what do you want your children to remember? So if you ask my children, how do I want to be remembered? I want to be remembered as a mom who always worked hard and who was there for them whenever they wanted me to be. So they have never found me sitting on the couch watching TV. They've never found me partying hard like an animal, but I still have a bit of fun. I still work very hard. We still have some quiet family time together. So this is how you want to be remembered. And because you know it, so children don't learn from us. They just observe it. So they don't even listen to what you say. They just see what you do. Okay, so that is something really important. If you want to know your why, you just go make money, 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 and you don't spend time with your children, and your children will definitely say, I don't want to be like my dad because I've hardly had time to see my dad. So I don't want to be like my mom because she was never there for any of my school functions. She was never there when I got a prize. She was never there to give me a hug when I woke up. So these are the things, little things, if your children misses out in their age, this will never come back. Whatever money you have, you can't compensate for the little tiny pleasures you lose in terms of relationships and family. So family always comes first, and that would be the why for most of you, but you have to really dig deep and write, what is my why? So I want my husband to stop working by the end of 2020 as well. So I want to partner with him, and we want to start a business on a large scale as a family and have a lot of family time and still have money to really live the life that we want. So that is the kind of legacy that I want to lead. So what is your legacy? Please note it down. So next is the main thing that we all struggle with is take actions. So all of us are going through this. I'm still saying going through this because there are days I procrastinate, I just be lazy and I don't do stuff. Okay, so you might have a great idea, or you might have a very simple idea, or you might not even have an idea. Actually, that's the best example. You might not even have an idea, but you just do something, okay, and something might turn out. So if you wait for that perfect moment, it'll never come. Trust me, you'll keep waiting. So that is the reason the slide is, you have to replace great intentions with imperfect action. Okay, the reason I started my YouTube channel, I always thought about starting it, but somewhere this intimidating feeling and fear and non-confidence to face the camera, I didn't start a YouTube channel. And I found a post on Facebook where a girl was telling that she's got a YouTube channel with 25,000 subscribers, and I just went and had a look at the channel, which was in a similar niche where I was interested in. And the video quality was so bad, the voice, I could barely hear her, and there was no energy and enthusiasm in what she was talking. The content was good, but the way the video was presented, the way she spoke, and I don't know about the YouTube audience mindset or the psychology, because I don't watch TV, I don't watch YouTube much. I only go there when I want something and I search for it. I don't binge watch YouTube. So I don't know the real psychology behind the subscribers. However, when I saw it, I was like, oh gosh, I can start a YouTube channel. And trust me, it was 11 at night. I just went, washed my face, changed my top, had a bit of lipstick, and I started recording a video. I didn't even see it. I didn't even play and check it. I'm being very honest. I just uploaded it. It'll be a raw. You can go check my channel. The very first 2-3 videos were recorded on the same day. I just changed a top in between. So it'll be a raw video, no editing, no intro, there's nothing. Now at least I do a bit of editing where I cut the videos and insert some intros and stuff like that, but it was raw videos because you got to start somewhere. Okay, so this didn't happen years ago. It just happened in the first week of December 8th to be exact. Okay, so it's just a month and a half I've started, and I mean I do not have the time to promote my channel much, but I'm being as active as possible because I'm doing too many things. I work full time, I've got 2 children, I do a lot of stuff, but still try to do something. That's what I'm saying. Slow progress is better than no progress. So make your efforts to do something rather than just watching and planning. Okay, when you keep planning, you'll keep planning, you'll never do it. That's the purpose of this boot camp, where we will work together and every day we'll do an exercise. By day 14, you will be reaching out to clients and initiating the business. That's how the curriculum has been planned. So all I need is your time of 30 to 45 minutes every day to do this. All right. So basically, why is now a good time? Because you see immense opportunities these days because of the online business boom. So it is very expensive to hire a place, to rent an office, employ full-time people, pay them wages, full-time salary, PF, your super, and so many other entitlements. Rather, people are just taking their laptops and internet and started developing their business like this. So there's a lot of solopreneurs, meaning single person who has become an entrepreneur. Mompreneurs are stay-at-home moms who hustle hard and make a living from online business, or even selling something on Etsy, Amazon, anything comes under that particular brand. And there are a lot of micro businesses who does not want to invest in full-time employees. They would rather pay you, virtual assistant, few hours of your time and get the work done. And this particular virtual assistant is very fluidic, very dynamic, suitable for almost any business. You can go from a hardware store who might need some help with their file organization, or who might need some help with writing some blog posts, social media posts, or bookkeeping, accounting. It could be customer service, organizing the emails, replying to emails. The amount of opportunities as a virtual assistant is endless, trust me. And all you need is a laptop or a computer or even a phone, but phone has minimum stuff when you tend to do stuff. So definitely a laptop or a computer with a good internet connection. And what else? The very important one, your passion and interest. And as I said, it's a very fluid career option. It suits any age. You can be as young as you want, you can be as old as you want, any gender, any level of education, experience and expertise. So we will explore more about this in later days. And mindset change is all about identifying what is limiting you. Please write down what is limiting you in achieving where you want to be. So please be very honest, please be very brutal. If you're lazy AF, write it. I am lazy AF. And please do not undersell your skills. So this will later on come where people start competing with each other. So that is why in my course, I'm not going to be talking about the freelancing websites or Upskill or Fiverr or Upwork or anything, because there people start competing. Okay, he's going to offer $10. I'm going to give you for $5. You will be competing all the time because you have to reply to a bid immediately. So when somebody is bidding on something, then make sure you have to be competing all the time. No, that will be so much of emotional and physical drain. I don't want you to go through. So my business model will be more of a nourishing business where you will have a brand for yourself. So we will focus more about branding you in your niche and getting you out there, and people will ask for your service. People will definitely be interested in your service and knowing more about you. So the mind is very powerful. You can achieve wherever you want to be if you have the right mindset. And to assist with your mind, your mouth should go hand in hand. I always say this to people who have a very bad tongue or mouth. Okay, so very sharp mouth, not good enough. The usage of words, I can't stress this enough. I have been there. I've been really angry. You've used negative words throughout, and when I'm really pissed off, I don't swear at people, I don't use swear words. However, there are times when I lose my mind and say such things, and it doesn't feel good. But now I've really focused myself, and I've done so much of effort in, and now it's become my second nature in using powerful but positive words. Anything, instead of saying I can't do that, you can say, yeah, definitely, we can, it's worth a try, we can give it a try, we can give it a go. So such positive words would definitely help you. So in the book Magic of Thinking Big by David Schwartz, there are 3 or 4 things he would have written. You should walk 25% fast. Trust me, when you do this, you will feel the difference in the confidence level. Okay, so 25% faster than what you walk, because when you walk slow, you get that sluggish feel. When people look at you, you will look very sluggish, and smile a lot. Those things really help. So always have a big picture. Don't have a very narrow-minded picture, very small-mindedness. Always dream big, think big, look at the bigger picture of your life, bigger picture of your vision. We'll talk about vision boards and prioritizing things and time. So this is very, very important as a virtual assistant. So you'll be handling multiple projects, multiple tasks at a time. So you should know which takes your priority, which is more important, and work on it. And we will do an exclusive worksheet on time management as well. So I really hope today's session was really enjoyable and you really liked it. Please comment below. And if you are interested in more videos, you can visit my YouTube channel. Everything is